All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? Hump day is upon us. Running a little behind on schedule this morning, but we in here. I mean, sort of a rough morning. All right, so didn't get all my pre-check stuff done, but let's go ahead and get it popping. All right, so let's get started with this pre-market insight. All right, today we already had the ADP non-farm employment change, and we'll take a look at that a little later. And at 10:30, as usual, we have the crude oil inventories. That is the economic outlook. That's what we got on the calendar for today. Let's go ahead and look at the power range. All right, so we have a high of 12,331.5 with a low of 12,314.5. At the time of this posting, we were trading at 7:30. Did it kind of early today, which is wild that I, still my. Anyway, I'm not even good. At that time, we were trading bullish, up 0.96%, 80K of volume, and 204.41 with the ATR. So, relative to what we've been to NQ over the past couple of weeks, that is significant. That's higher than what we've seen last week and so far this week. So let's go ahead and look at what that looks like on the chart, how we performed overnight in relation to the fib lines. All right, so you can see at last night we had the bulls came strong to open up the session, and they continue higher. So if we look at a daily chart, I mean, we got an alert there. Move this over. I can go ahead and remove these. I'm not going to use that anymore. We're pretty parabolic at this point. So at some point, we're going to have to have a little retracement. So, of course, we don't know when that's going to happen, but it will happen at some point. We have to pull back a little bit. So, it'll be interesting to see how, the next couple of days plays out. Nothing from what I see is, that significant that would keep this pushing higher, and there's nothing outside of the normal going on. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so I did not forget about the quote of the day. This is kind of the I didn't put a title for this live session, for this live stream, because I was undecided for a while, but then I do know what I want to talk about this morning. All right, so here's the quote of the day. All right, and this comes from the late, great Kobe Bryant. I would go 0 for 30 before I would go 0 for 9. So this was from I can't remember all the exact details, but it had something to do with, he was asked a question about another player who went 0 for 9. He was getting a lot of flack for that, but Kobe's, with his Mamba mentality, he was his thing was basically you miss all the shots that you don't make, right? So he would rather put forth the effort and end up with and have a result of going 0 for 30 than not try at all and defeat himself because he didn't try at all and go 0 for 9, or just not give his full effort to achieve the greatness that he was trying to achieve, which is what made him so great. So we can use the same mentality with our trading, right? If we can have the greatest idea in the world, but if we don't execute on that idea, it's all for nothing. You know what I mean? So in order to know if your strategy actually works or not, you have to actually put the effort and you have to execute your strategy, right? You don't know how well your strategy is going to work if you don't actually put it, put the work behind it or test it out on the market or trade it live, right? So that is the mentality that we as traders should have. And of course, we don't just go and trade without a plan. And Kobe, he would never just step on the court without a ton of preparation and practice and watching hours of game tape and studying every little aspect, every little movement, all the little finer details of his past performances and what he picked up while he was practicing and other great players' performance. He would study every single little detail, so he was well prepared before he even stepped on the court for a real game, to where in the real game it was just repetition. Like he probably put more effort and more work into things off the court in terms of his basketball game than he did when the actual game was going on. Except playoffs. Playoffs are different, but so we have to be prepared. We have to study and do our due diligence with our strategies and how we approach the market. And then once it's game time, then we have to execute on everything that we prepared and practice for. All right. So let me go ahead and get some music going. I wasn't really prepared as much as I should have been for this live stream, but as far as my trading, I'm definitely prepared for that. I need to find a way I can mute some of those sounds that Ninja Trader makes. Not a big fan of all of those sounds all of the alerts that Ninja Trader makes for every single little thing that you do. Like, I know I can go into the settings and make changes to the alerts, but I don't want to completely change everything. I just want to mute it. So we got about 4 minutes for the bell. Trading kind of sideways right now. I don't like to speculate, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some bears today. Bears open up the session strong. I'm looking at 368 for some possible support Kind of running into support right now. I don't know how strong that's going to be though. Possibly some quick profit taking, some buyers trying to push the price, pushes back higher. Oh, that bounced. Okay, so that was pretty strong. It bounced pretty strongly off that support. Let's see if we rotate lower. Looks like we could be setting up for a momentum play. Of course, to the short side. And of course, Ninja Trader and Sierra chart are telling me two different stories. Another problem with trading on multiple platforms, because the picture is painted different between each platform. Depends on how they take the data in and what they do with the data. Same, looking at the same 3-minute chart with all the same stuff, but they are painting the picture different. Especially when you're looking at the price, the live price action. But I'm still waiting on an actual signal per my strategy and my plan. Neither picture has given me a signal yet. We look at this 30-minute. We have a lot of room to go. I mean, we don't even. Once we break the support that I called out earlier, we have like a micro pivot here, and then maybe an area right here at 281. There's a lot of room to trade down. I mean, especially if we look at the daily chart. Hindsight Capital says if I was looking to take a trade bullish, I could have bought off that support that I called out earlier. All right, that support has been broken. For the trap. All right. Speaking of trap, real quick, shout out to Wall Street Trapper. If you're interested in investing, he's doing a lot of dope things over there. I'm a part of that group. That's like the only. I'm slow to join. I'm not big on joining groups and stuff. Just the community has to have the right focus, and I like what Wall Street Trapper is doing. So if you're interested, go ahead and check out Wall Street Trapper. He's on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. He's doing a lot of dope things, helping a lot of people, change their financial outlook and, improve their financial position. All right, let's see. And on that same note, EYL, Earn Your Leisure. Earn Your Leisure University, the whole group, it's a movement over there. Ian, all of them. Market Mondays, Trapping Tuesdays. A lot of dope information, a lot of dope content. If we make it up here, I'm going short. 422. We got that was on. Actually, I'm gonna take it an Nature Trader. A mosquito was in here. It's a very interesting market we're trading in this year. If we look at the daily chart or the bigger time frames, it looks strong, but in terms of the actual New York Stock Exchange market hours, I think this is the first time I can remember having this type of price action in the morning session. And for this amount of time, like usually we have this kind of price action for like maybe a few weeks or just during the earnings session. It's spotty, but just to me, if this one feels kind of extended. It's definitely an interesting time to be participating in the markets. And it's not just me saying this. Like, I've seen other traders say the same thing, repeat the same sentiment, where like this is a very interesting time. I mean, volatility is up and it's staying up. If we look back to like the sell-off that we had in March, similar time, or a time that was similar to that recently was in 2018. And that lasted just for a few months before things returned back to normal. But this volatility has, it took off, and there's a lot of reasons that we can point to, but it took off in March and it hasn't really slowed down. Yep, price did not trade back to where I wanted it to. At this point, I feel like I'll be chasing, so I gotta wait. And it was really choppy. I'm watching the price action, and it wasn't clean at all.
Order canceled.
So I would have had to break my rules to participate in this. I had a green start to the month yesterday, so definitely want to make sure I'm staying disciplined and waiting for my the setups that my plan and my strategy says I should be taking. I don't want to It's easy in times like this for FOMO and revenge trading to set in. So discipline is definitely important. It's rough though. It can be challenging at times. Like sitting on your hands can be one of the hardest things to do, but it's where a lot of your profits come from. It's where a lot of your success comes from. I've had times where I didn't sit on my hands and it worked out, and then I built bad habits, and all the profits that I made from not sitting on my hands or not being patient and staying disciplined were wiped away when it came back to, bite me in the rear. Try not to cuss for, YouTube standards. What was that? Upwork. What is Upwork doing? Well, now wait. Let me just check out. See what Apple's. Okay. Makes sense. And Tesla. Walmart is also in the news. I am not touching Walmart. I got it down here. So that was a long-term investment anyway. It's a completely different state of mind when, between investing and trading. So it looks significant over here on the 3 minute. Like, that is a lot of, we've covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. But if we look at the daily chart, we've only begun to break the surface. So we got a long way to go. Before we can really call it a retest or a retracement. So I'm looking at this, like I trade price action, and I'm trying to see, like, per the price action, where did you know, what could have been an indicator of this turning around here. And we kind of have this pivot sitting over here at let's see, 240. This is on the 10-minute chart. You can also see it on the 3-minute chart, but I would have had to scroll. I would have had to literally scroll left to see that. We did bounce off the 461.8 fib line, fib extension line too. But so I missed that one, so now I gotta wait. I'll probably trade for about another hour. Usually my time is from 9:30 to 10:30. You know, especially on days like this, I got other stuff I gotta do. But I can go out till about 11 today. And if I do get something, of course I will post it in the journal. You can go to mb3trader.com under the journal tab, and that's why I post my journal there. Like around, I try to post it as soon as possible so that you can see the live updates as I update it live. I have the capability of doing that using Notion. So if I do get something today, I will definitely post it there, the screenshot and all that good stuff. And I appreciate y'all. I truly appreciate y'all for coming and trading with me, listening to all the nonsense I gotta say and all that good stuff. And on that note, hope y'all have a good rest of the day, and I will see y'all later. Deuces.